The 2010s were a very interesting decade. A lot of cool things happened. Trump got elected, Osama bin Laden got killed, and we got a classic movie, the Emoji Movie. But we're not here to talk about any of that today. Today we're here to talk about some horror classics that came out during this era. My personal favorite, Paranormal Activity. I know that movie came out in 2009. I don't give a fuck, okay? It still counts. I love the movie, so we're going to talk about it, okay? So if you have any problem with that, please drop a comment down below and argue with me. But you're going to be arguing at a brick wall because I won't be responding. What else do we have? We also got Hereditary, Insidious, a bunch of other just great classics in the horror genre. And today we're going to be talking about 3 movies that I think you should watch. And yes, Paranormal Activity is one of the movies that we're going to be talking about. And I know, once again, it came out in 2009. If you say anything about it in the comments, I won't be responding, and I'm going to delete your comment, because fuck you. With that being said, let's get right into our first movie of the video, which is... Grave Encounters is a found footage horror movie about a paranormal investigating group, kind of like a spoof on shows like Paranormal Investigators. Is that the name of the show? I don't know. I've never watched one of those clearly fake, we're trying to make a buck quick type of shows. But it's about the group Grave Encounters who's trying to get their biggest episode of their show yet, where they go to a haunted asylum, set up a bunch of cameras, and walk around and pretend to be scared. But what they don't realize is this time, they're actually going to get scared, because there's real ghosts. And since the Grave Encounters crew has actually never faced a real ghost before or seen anything paranormal in their entire lives, they are put in a really bad spot, because they actually have to face paranormal threats that want to kill them, because none of the spirits in this hospital are playing nice. Alongside that, the hospital itself is completely controlled by the spirits. Once you enter it, unless they let you leave, you're not leaving the hospital, and you're going to be stuck there for the rest of your life, or until you let the doctor lobotomize you. Because there's only 2 ways to leave the hospital once you're inside. One of the ways is to get a lobotomy from Dr. Friedkin, who's one of the spirits haunting the building, or you just hope and pray that you die, because there's no other way that you're leaving this hospital once you're inside. The main reason why the hospital is haunted is because of Dr. Friedkin, the guy that used to run the asylum. He was running inhumane tests and experiments on the patients and leaving them in very inhumane ways, lobotomizing them, and doing, I guess you could say, satanic rituals on them, which is one of the major reasons why they are still haunting the building, because they were getting experimented on and, being dragged into some satanic rituals where he was pouring dead babies on them. If you see the second movie, you will understand more, because there is a sequel to the Grave Encounters. There's like 2 movies, I think. They're both on YouTube, so if you want to watch them, please go watch the movies before you watch this video, because I don't want to spoil it. The movie is really, really good. Lance and company decide to enter the hospital and start setting up some cameras to do a little bit of a stupid episode of their show so they can get a quick buck, go home, and do whatever they do. They get down there and they realize, hey, this is real. This is some real ghost stuff. We got to get out of here. But what they don't realize is once you step inside, like I said earlier, if you don't die or get lobotomized, you're not leaving the hospital. And they learn that the really hard way when all their friends start getting brutally murdered. Lance and Sasha are the last 2 remaining survivors near the end of the movie, before Sasha is whisked away and taken by the smoke, leaving Lance all alone. And he just sits there by himself. Does Lance die? No, I do know, but no, I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta go watch the first and the second to find out if Lance is really dead or not. Just go watch the movies. But in my personal opinion, I think this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, found footage horror movies. I have a lot of memories of watching this movie from like a long time ago. Coming back to the movie like 5 years later, I can still say that I really do enjoy the movie wholeheartedly. It's very funny, it has some really interesting scenes, and I really like the jump scares. I feel like they weren't too in your face with the jump scares, and they feel like they built up a good amount of suspension before they just hit you with the most absurd, ridiculous spirit jumping at the screen jump scares. Also, I really like the story of the asylum, with Dr. Friedkin experimenting on the patients and driving them insane to the point where after death, they are still haunting anybody that walks into the asylum. Also, the asylum itself is really well constructed for a set. I think they went to an actual asylum to film it, so that makes sense. But I feel you can really see the decomposition and just the dirty griminess of the asylum and the inhumane treatment that the people were getting. Alongside that, I just really like the characters. I feel like Lance was cool. I liked Sasha and the other two guys that I don't even remember their names. They were pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like Grave Encounters is a pretty good horror movie. If you're new to found footage films, go check it out. Both of the movies are on YouTube for completely free, and you can watch them at any time. So if you have free time after this video, go check them out. Now let's get on to our next movie of the day, which is... Now we're gonna get into some real classic territory for one of the most classic horror movies you can really talk about from the 2010s. And yes, I know Paranormal Activities 1 came out in 2009, but I don't really care. I want to talk about this movie anyways. That's what gave me the idea for this entire video. So we're gonna talk about it regardless of what year it came out. And let me tell you, Paranormal Activities 1 is an absolute classic in the horror movie found footage genre. This movie has created so many tropes that we see in modern found footage movies. It's ridiculous. The whole setting up cameras thing and just, you know, letting them roll. Paranormal Activity really did that. That's what they did. That's what they're known for. Now, as far as the quality of the movies, after the first one, no. After the first two, no. I'll be honest with you. After the first two, the movies got kind of bad. In my personal opinion, I just like the first two, maybe three. Everything after that is pretty mid. They also kind of started the whole confusing timeline thing that a lot of movies love doing today. We're not gonna even talk about that because A, the first one comes like second, I don't know. I never really got into anything after the first two. I watched the third one, I kind of hated it. But let's get right into this. Paranormal Activities 1 is about Micah and his girlfriend who are being haunted by a ghost named Toby. Now, you're probably wondering, why are they being haunted by this ghost named Toby? Well, Toby is a demon, and I can't really explain why he's haunting them without giving you spoilers for future films. So if you do want to go watch the entire movie franchise, which should only take you like what, a day and a half, and then come back to this video, you probably should, because there's about to be a lot of spoilers for this movie. And I know it came out a long time ago, but I still want to make sure you guys get the chance to go watch the movies before I spoil them for you. So Katie and Micah are being haunted by this evil spirit demon named Toby, and he's really just trying to mess with them. I mean, at first it starts off tame, swinging a chandelier, knocking some stuff over, you know, just normal little kitty ghost, I'm not trying to kill you yet type activities, you know, knocking over some paper towels, maybe throwing a knife at the wall, you know, the usual. But, you know, Micah's kind of stupid. I won't even lie, Micah's not the smartest guy when it comes to horror movies. He's the, you know, routine, I gotta make the spirit more mad. I gotta get the content, I gotta film it. And well, honestly, it wasn't a great idea. Micah decides to yell at the spirit, upset it, bring a Ouija board into the house, trying to get a reaction. And I won't even lie, he got his reaction. I will tell you that. They even bring an exorcist and a priest into the house, and the priest is like, yo, this spirit is not just a spirit, this is a demon. He wants to harm you. And what does Micah do? He continues to bug a demon. There's two people at this point that have told you, stop messing with the demon. Why are you still bugging it? This man Micah's over here trying to set up a Ouija board, talking about, is that all you got? The spirit wasn't playing with him, I'm gonna be honest with you. Toby was not playing with him. And every day, it starts getting a little bit worse. It goes from swinging the chandelier to dragging people out of their beds. Yeah, this spirit's not playing. Swinging chandeliers, going to dropping chandeliers on children. He's not playing. And Micah eventually starts to realize, hey, it's getting bad, we should probably leave. Even Katie's like, we should leave. But then Katie gets possessed and talking about we're gonna be okay. And it doesn't even click in Micah's head. Hey, yesterday you wanted to leave the house, maybe we should still go? Nope. And that's when it happens. Katie stands and watches him for a good few hours, goes downstairs, screams, Micah comes down there, and he gets stabbed to death. And Katie leaves possessed by Toby. Now, do I think that this was all Micah's fault? Yes, I do. I think Micah's probably one of the dumbest characters in all of horror. Might even be the dumbest in all of fiction, honestly. Because the moment that a priest tells me my house is haunted by a demon, no, that's just a no for me. But, you know, Micah might be a little different. But I love this movie. I love the set. I love the setup. I love the increasingly like scarier nights. I love the night segments where we're just watching the cameras. That's pretty fun to me. I'm interested in that. You know, I grew up on that Five Nights at Freddy's, so watching cameras, that's something I know and love to do. Now, as far as characters go, Micah just kind of felt like he just made me mad all movie, to be honest with you. He just kind of upset me because of how stupid he was. Katie, she was just kind of there to give exposition about the demon following her whole life, and you know, just to get scared alongside Micah. And that's really it. I mean, the priest and the exorcist, they were there, but I wouldn't call them like characters that we follow. Now, let's talk about Toby. Toby is the most interesting character in this entire movie because he really just doesn't like Micah. I mean, to be fair, Micah did, you know, and you know, try and instigate him to attack more so we could get it on film and post it on YouTube and try and get some clout. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, no, Micah definitely got what he deserved. I don't think that, you know, he didn't deserve what happened, but dang. Toby is a spirit that wants to haunt them for reasons unknown to this point. If you want me to talk about Paranormal Activity 2 and the whole franchise, go ahead and leave a comment and I might do it. And honestly, if I were to give this movie anything, I would say, hey, I like the increasingly like frightening jump scares. I liked Katie's character, even though she was just there to like be a plot device for the most part. I really like Toby as a villain. He's very interesting, especially with the lore given in the later films. And I just liked mostly everything about it. I feel like it's a movie that does found footage really well. The entire franchise, I can't say they do. But I can say this first movie, if you do get the chance to watch, if you have HBO Max, you should definitely check it out. It's definitely one of those movies that is really frightening and will have you scared if you have not seen it before. But if you're not interested in the whole jump scares, swinging chandeliers, and haunted spirits, it probably won't be for you. But in my personal opinion, I would have to say this is a watch. If you do like horror movies, you should definitely go check it out. I would give this movie like I don't know, 10 business dollars out of 15. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's get into our next movie and our final movie of the video, which is As Above, So Below is an interesting found footage movie that takes loose inspiration from the book Dante's Inferno. Our main protagonist, Scarlett, she's an archaeologist who's trying to find a bunch of gold and riches in the Paris catacombs. And that's where all the jump scares, monsters, and demons are. Well, the catacombs are divided into levels, kind of like the levels presented in Dante's Inferno, each representing a different sin, like greed, gluttony, etc. Once you enter, they are getting tested by the devil himself. I believe to overcome a specific wrong or sin or something traumatic that they've put themselves or somebody else through. Like, for example, Scarlett, she didn't answer the phone when her dad died, like killed himself, so she had to overcome that and apologize and, I guess, atone for her sin. But you can also not atone and just be stuck down there forever. Like, one of the other characters, he killed somebody in a car crash, I guess, technically, you know. And instead of atoning and taking responsibility, he said it's not his fault and got sucked into the car and trapped in the catacombs forever. A lot of characters in this movie have something that they have to atone for because nobody's really truly clean of wrongdoing ever. And they must go through some form of atonement ritual, kind of. And the only way to get out is to go deeper. You can't just climb back out once you enter. No. Because you're gonna be stuck in an infinite loop, kind of like the other movies we talked about, where you know you're stuck down there, you can't leave until you atone, buddy. You got to get out through atonement, and mostly everybody dies because that's how these type of movies go. Everybody has to die, except for Scarlett and her two friends who get to live because they atoned and they came to accept and came to peace with what they did, and they realized that, you know, atoning isn't that bad. Also, Scarlett gets superpowers near the end of the movie because she merges with an alchemist thingy. I think it's called a philosopher's stone, pretty sure. She merges with it and realizes that she can now heal people. And I think a philosopher's stone can also turn anything to gold. So now she technically gets the riches because she can, you know, transmutate things. Listen, bro, I watched Full Metal Alchemist. I know how a philosopher's stone works, I think. And yeah, you know, they get to live happily ever after. This movie came out like a long time ago. I think 2017. So it's still 2010's, but this one's personally not my favorite that we talked about today. Like, I get why this movie was slammed hard by reviewers in quotations, because a lot of these people aren't just, they just be yapping, kind of like me, they just be yapping, and they think they know a lot about movies, just like me. But what I will say is, there's a lot of things that are left open-ended, which in certain movies would be a good thing. Just, you know, like Lance's death at the end of the first Grave Encounters, death in quotations, leaving that open-ended. Did he die? Did he not die? That's cool. But just leaving entire segments about why certain people are here and why they're being tested and not explaining like how they could even, you know, atone, that's open-ended in a stupid way. Open-ended just to have a high kill count on the movie isn't, you know, good writing in my personal opinion. Now the catacombs, hey, I love the fact they actually filmed it in the real life catacombs. I feel like that was really cool. You know, I liked the fact that it was really cramped. You know, if you hate claustrophobic situations, don't watch this movie. I'm here with you. If you hate claustrophobic situations, don't watch it. I hate claustrophobic situations, so even when I was watching it, I cringed a little. I was like, ugh, I couldn't do that. That couldn't be me, because I don't like being, you know, trapped between rubble. But I will say, the filmography isn't bad. Besides some bad writing decisions, the characters are alright. You know, it definitely has been worse. As a found footage movie, I would say, you know, it does its job well. As a horror movie, I wouldn't say it's all that scary. In my personal opinion, I didn't find it all that scary. I mean, it's no scarier than like what the Blair Witch Project, and I don't even think that movie's scary as far as like jump scares or like in your face horror. Now, I mean, it works as a psychological film in quotations heavily. I want to say psychological horror. It's more like a different type of horror, because it's more about like being scared of where your location, because it's more about being scared that you're in Dante's Inferno, you're in the abyss, you're meeting with Satan basically. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's more about that being in a cramped area than it is about actual jump scares, in your face horror, which there is some jump scares, I guess. I mean, they didn't get me personally, but you know, if you want like a chill horror movie to just watch by yourself, just relax, you know, something that's not gonna scare you too much, I would suggest this movie. Now, would I give it like a 10 out of 10 would watch again? I would say it's like a solid, you know, 6. I wouldn't give it anything more than that. I only give it a 6 because I like the narrative, kind of. But besides that, I really can't say it does anything too well. It's not a horror movie, but it's not a horrible movie, but it's not like a good movie. I mean, it's watchable. If you guys watched this video to the end, I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. I love each and every one of you guys that subscribed. This year is going to be a great year. We're going to be posting more. And thank you guys for 1.3 thousand subscribers. Also, on top of that, I have a new Discord, link in the description. If you guys are interested in becoming like an editor, helping me make thumbnails, or just giving me video ideas, or just want to talk to me, go ahead and join the Discord server, link in the description. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, also please go ahead and do that. We're on the road to 2K this year, and I'm hoping that by the end of the year we can hit 2,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy the content, keep it going. Let's keep growing. And yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.